Hey guys, Shane here, CrossFit Chef, helping you go further, faster in fitness. And today's Shane Talks is all about your struggle. Your struggle is not your excuse. It's your ammunition. Why is that on top of mind? Pretty obvious. Going through a bit of a struggle at the moment, being locked down for 2 weeks, being closed for 2 weeks. The funny thing about this situation is that it just wakes everybody up. For me personally, the struggle is my ammunition. In my personal opinion, whether or not this sounds, narcissistic or not, but I believe that I'm a good trainer. I believe that I care. I'm empathetic. I have all the good qualities of a very good trainer. However, when things start to go wrong and I'm affected by things, or my profession is affected by things, I just go to another level and I just try and help more and more and more. And it becomes my ammunition. So for me to provide good service is something that comes natural, right? I'm going to provide the best service that I can provide. However, now there's some struggle around being able to provide that service, right? The service has been almost taken away. Now I'm going to use that as ammunition to fire up and to start helping in other areas. If it's more podcasting, if it's more blog writing, if it's more community connection, if it's more community outreach, if it's all the things that make all the little areas of our service, of our profession, like not so great, we're going to upregulate all of that stuff. We're going to use that as fire, as fuel. Not everyone will do that, but all the people who are looking for, opportunity will. And I start to think about this in other areas. I think your struggle in your weight loss journey, your struggle in your muscle building journey, your struggle in your fitness journey is your ammunition. Because those areas are showing you, okay, here is an area that I need to improve in, but I need some motivation. I need some ammunition to do that. And if that isn't the easiest way to grab it, then I don't know what is. Like the fact that if I don't choose to push through, if I don't choose to use this struggle as a way forward, then what am I doing? I can't let this struggle control me. I can't let this struggle bring me down. I'm not a victim. Yes, it may seem unfortunate for people with struggles. But this is the other thing about struggles, is because anyone that you hear continually complaining about their struggles, right? All of the time with no solution. I'm okay with people complaining about their struggle as long as on the other side of that complaint is some sort of solution, some sort of result. What's the point in talking out loud about your problem unless you also have a solution? And that's okay if you do both. But what annoys me the most are those who let the struggle consume them, who let the struggle make them a victim. Because misery likes company, and some people in the world, and you will know these people, complain to bond. They complain so that other people will be drawn to them. It's a really interesting sort of personality trait. If you look at the people that you know that do this, have a look at them. They will do it until they get as much attention as they need. I have this, and this wrong with me. And there's no mention of success, movement forward. There's no mention of problem solving, solution orientated tasks that they're doing. It's all just, I've got problems, and they sit and wait. It's like fishing. Here's my problem. And they put it out there, and then someone will come along and go, misery likes company. They might be miserable about something as well, and they may swallow that up and start to bond and talk backwards and connect to each other. And that's the biggest issue, is that when your struggle becomes all you talk about, you will never escape it. When you're only ever complaining about whatever it is that your struggle is, when that's all you're talking about to other people, that's all you're ever putting out there, that struggle will remain your struggle forever. But when you're telling me about how you defeated that struggle, when you start to say, here's my struggle, and here's what I did to beat that struggle. It was my ammunition. It was my fire. I used these struggles to put me in a better position than I've ever been in my entire life. Those are the people that you want to hang around. Those are the people that you want to bond to. Because if you don't, you're going to bond to the people who just talk about their struggle, and you'll be talking about your struggle. And then you'll realize when the conversation stops, when you're both talking, you just sit there and you go, I feel shit having just spoke about my problems and listening to your problems for a month as well. Like we've just been talking nonstop about our struggles. I feel shit. But when you talk to people who go, here's my problem, here's my issue, that's obvious. Like we all can see it, I can see it. However, here is my ammunition. This struggle is going to drive me to be the best I've ever been. And it's not going to define me. It's not going to stop me. It's not going to slow me down. It is not going to be the end of my story. I'm not going to speak of this for the next 10 years. This is not going to be who I am, because I am now fired up to get change. I am now fired up to be better than I ever was and to use this as a learning experience to help others, to help myself, and to never let it happen again. I'm going to push myself. I'm going to make sure that the ammunition that I get from this struggle is something that is loud and firing and that everyone around me can hear it and see it and smell it and feel it. And I'm going to get change from it, and I'm going to be better, and this struggle ain't going to define me. For example, when I was young, most of you know that I lived with a family. My mum and dad were my mum and dad. They were like every mum and dad. They did the best they could with what they did. But the environment was struggle. It was financial struggles. It was emotional struggles. There's a lot of problems in that situation, those scenarios. When I was a kid, there was a lot of neglect. There was a lot of expectations. For God's sake, my mum and dad wouldn't even know. They wouldn't even have a clue about how I feel because they never fucking asked. They never asked how I felt as a child. They've never asked me how I felt. And for me, growing up, that struggle was real. I was struggling. I was struggling to find my way as a child. I was struggling to find my way as an individual. I had no idea what direction I wanted to go into. There was a lot of struggle without any support, and yet I used it to find areas that I excelled in. Okay, where in all this struggle am I finding some sort of lesson? And how can I get that lesson to those around me? And how can I get those around me to then have their experiences that then motivate me? Because I'm saying it to them, I'm helping, okay, here's where my struggle was, and this is what I'm doing, what are you guys doing? And that just keeps layering upon and building you both up to a point where you now no longer struggle from those things, well, anywhere near as much as you may have. And so it's important not to let these struggles hold you down. They are not anchors. They might be momentarily. They may be in the first couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of years, but at some point you can cut away from that anchor and you can rise to the top and you can keep moving forward. And it's no longer your struggle. It is now your motivation. It is now your ammunition to get something from your life, to never look back and say, that is where my life stopped, because that is what I chose. I chose to wallow in struggle and self-pity and the pity party. And instead I get up and every day, you know what? No one ever feels like getting up and moving forward. It's rare that you'll find someone that's like so happily motivated about everything and hasn't have to work for it. The people who struggle the most, they're going to find it hardest to struggle. The ammunition for that struggle is going to be the hardest to find. But once they find it, man, is it going to push them, because they'll never want to feel that way again. I think it was Mike Tyson that said the reason he's the biggest, baddest motherfucker on the planet, those are his words, is because somebody made him feel vulnerable as a kid. Somebody hurt him. He was hurt by others, and he didn't ever want to feel that way again. That was struggling for him. Mike Tyson himself, one of the biggest, baddest dudes on the planet, hurt, and he never wanted to hurt again. His struggle was too much that he went, this is my ammunition to be the best boxer on the planet. Like, legitimately, the baddest dude on the planet when it comes to boxing. Like, that's pretty cool. And if you look at all the people who have really pushed through adversity, they used it in some way, shape, form, or capacity to make them better humans, better individuals. They didn't let it consume them. And then you go look at the people who you know who are struggling, who just talk about their struggles, and they have been struggling their entire lives. They have not yet learnt how to make that struggle work for them. You must experience the struggle. That's okay. You must take it in, develop it, assimilate it, but you've got to do something with that now. What is that turning into? Is that turning into resentment, hate, and more struggle? Or is that turning into ammunition and power? Some sort of substance that you can now use, something that you can give to others, something that those others then can give back to you, and that you keep building each other up, because the struggle was the ammunition. And that is it for today, guys. 10 minutes tops, so you can get these digested and into your brains and ears on the way to work. If you have any questions, if you want to reach out, let me know that you're listening. That would be great, because mostly I have no idea that people are listening, and it's cool to connect. Until next time, guys, I hope you are well, and I will see you soon.